The following is the extract of a course linked in the description.
Hello guys, thank you for joining me on this new video. So the last time what I covered is how we were able to build a track really quickly. Don't worry if we were not able to get everything. We're gonna go over those concepts a little bit more in the coming videos. But what I wanted to discuss today, or what I wanted to show you, is another way for you to add drums to your track. So what I was basically doing in the video that I just did was when I wanted to load samples for kick, snares, and maybe hi-hat, I basically came to my library over here and I was just dragging and dropping some of those samples. Let me go with this one, some of those samples like this, and it will play over here, right? The thing with that, even though when I come up here, if I wanted to let me say I'm just going to 80 over here. If I wanted to build like a simple pattern over here, if I wanted to record it, I can only record one channel rack. I can only record one channel rack at a time, right? So over here, just to give you an example, if I go over here, I put everything. I'm gonna go to, I have the metronome over here, just once again. So basically over here I'm having the same issue with um, this one not being mapped to the right root node. So now, so this is the right one. So we're just gonna go back here, and so this is what we have over here, right? So if we just listen to it, so this is what we have. We can also record it, but you see that when I do that, I cannot record it at the same time with the snare that I have here. So I have to record one and I have to record the other. If you're really good at finger drumming, right, or maybe you're drumming some patterns on a table and all that, the other solution is to use some of the other software out, or some of the other plugins or software instruments that we have, virtual instrument, such as FPC. This is free. This comes with FL Studio, so you don't need to buy anything extra. It provides you some pads and with a lot of the functionalities that you're gonna need, pretty much everything that you're gonna need. You have some others. Let me just have a look here. I'm just gonna give you some other ones. Do I have it loaded here? Give me 1 second. So if I load this one, so you have some others, such as over here I'm using another one of Reason. It's basically the same thing. A lot of the options that you're gonna see over here, the buttons, they all kind of cater to doing the same thing, right? So this is what we have. Some other options as well that is a little bit popular that you're gonna have over here. Battery 4 from Native Instruments is another plugin that is pretty popular as well. But like I say, the FPC, what it provides you, and when I'm mentioning the FPC, I'm mentioning this over here. What it provides you is definitely pretty much everything that you will need. When we come up here, now the thing is I'm using a MIDI controller, so I'm actually using a keyboard from Arturia, right? But usually what people do is they're using pads in order to play those drums a little bit easily, right? So over here you have one launch pad, you have Ableton Push as well. You usually very use a lot with Ableton, right? Another software, DAW. And over here we have Machine from Native Instrument as well, but this one is seems to be a DAW in its own, on its own, right? So you can record on it, you can do a lot of things just with it, and it comes, I think, with its own software. But I believe you can also use it as a MIDI and do your finger drumming on that, right? So when we come back here, with that we're just gonna go over a little bit what FPC actually provides you. So what I was saying, the option of loading the channel rack over here, your sample in the channel rack over here, I could not record both of them at the same time. However, if I come up here on the FVC, you're gonna see that I can actually get to them all at the same time, right? So what I'm gonna do, let's say I don't actually like this sound over here, I'm gonna come up here. Where is my, okay, so I'm gonna come up here. I just need to drag and drop it over here, right? And let me do a little bit with this one as well. I'm gonna put it here, but you're gonna see, or maybe you're gonna listen that it seems to be that there is something else with that sound. It's because there was some sound that were there before, and we can actually make it a little bit bigger here. That's one of the things that I like with FL Studio as well. A lot of the plugins now are vectorial, so you can definitely resize it, and it's gonna work well just depending on the screen that you have. So over here, I actually have this sound, but I actually have additional sounds that are over here, right? The thing that I just need to do is come up here. I just want this sound over here to be there, so I'm just gonna come up here and click on delete on those other channels over here, and just be left with that. So when I'm clicking that now it's pure. Same thing with this one. Seems to be, it's not really too much of an issue, the way it's working here, but as well I just want it to be pure. So I'm just gonna delete everything, and now I'm just left with that, and maybe I can stack. So that's one thing as well. Maybe um, you wanna do for your sound to have like a different texture, right? Maybe you want it to hit a little bit different. You want to stack two sounds all at the same time. So this one, I have this that's a little bit of snare, and I have this that's a little bit more of a clappish kind of sound. I can drag and drop it here, and now I have both of them going at the same time. And maybe if I want one of them to be a little bit stronger, the other one a little bit softer, this is what I can do as well. So it gives you a different texture, and it can provide a little bit more flavor, a little bit more punch to your sound, right? So this is what we have. That's definitely the beginning over here. So now let's say that let's go ahead and record a simple pattern. I'm gonna delete this. Let me see which pattern I'm gonna go with. It's supposed to be here. Okay, let's go with that. That's something not too fancy. Like I say, I'm not a big figure drummer guy, so let's go with that. So this is what we have. Let's play it. Not bad. So we seems like we are over here. We kind of we ride it's properly quantized, right? Or we could have gone and actually have it fit in a proper place, because sometimes you're gonna play and this is gonna be at the wrong place, right? So it's with the piano roll, you can just come up here and just make it and adjust it. So one thing that I'm gonna do over here is, right now you're seeing that with, let me just increase that, with the magnet that I have here is following the quantization, is following what we have for the main at the main over here. So I'm just gonna come up here, and let's say we go with quarter beat, and I'm gonna say to the software to quickly quantize this, and now it's gonna say for all the notes over here to be a quarter of a beat. Okay, so this is what we have, and basically with that, what the other thing that we could do is we can keep adding over here on the same layer. So let me find another sound. So let's go with that. So the thing that you have, so one thing to keep in mind over here, when you're gonna, if you try to record again on the same pattern, especially if it's on the same piano roll, if you select this option over here, the loop recording, it's actually gonna delete whatever whatever you're gonna record is gonna replace what you had before. So if we go ahead and record something very quickly, you see over here, everything has been deleted, right? So I'm gonna press Command Z. I'm on the Mac, and what I want is to come up here to blend recording overdub. So overdub is gonna keep whatever was there, and it's gonna add the new one on top. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is what we have. So he has kept it, and everything is there. Okay. So it just provides a little bit more flexibility depending on how you want to approach those laying down the drums. This is what it does offer you. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come back here and I'm just gonna discuss a little bit what FPC is providing you. A lot of the options, like I mentioned, that FPC provides, the other ones are providing it. The way they approach it is a little is different, right? And they might have some options that are that one other software instrument can have, the other one doesn't really have. But I would say 80 to 90% is, once you know one, you're going to be able to quickly jump into another one if you need to change. So over here we have bank A and bank B, right? So bank A has 16 pads and bank B as well as 16 pads. So in total over here you can actually load 32 sounds. Those sounds could be actual drums, but it could also be that you load over here like musical notes. So if I take a look over here, so we go to back, let's go to instruments, let's go to keyboard. Actually, let me go to guitar. So basically one thing you can do, you can just drag and drop this here, drag and drop this here, drag and drop this here, and drag and drop this here. So this is one thing that's one of the things that's happening right now is uh, when I'm pressing one sound and I'm pressing the other one, this first sound is continuing into the second sound that is being played. For me to stop that behavior, basically what I need to do is select the first one, and I need to select a cut group over here and a cut by group, right? So I'm gonna come up here. Let's say we put it into cut group number one, and I'm also gonna put over here to cut by anything in a group one, right? So we're gonna do that for the second one as well, the third one. So now when I'm gonna play it, it doesn't have overlap anymore. Okay, so you have 32 pads, and like I said, you can have drums and you can have musical notes. When we come up here at the top, basically this is where you can actually select those you can actually select those samples over here. All right, over here we have the some other I'm gonna go through the option that we have over here. We have the volume over here, and you're also gonna see over here the hint panel is providing you that option over there. So we have the volume over here, and we can just reduce it, change it a little bit. We over here, and now you're seeing it just playing really soft now, but it's only for this sample over here. The other ones are normal, right? So over here we have the panning. So we decide if we want the sound to come from the left side, or we want the sound to come from the right side, or we want it to be in the middle, a little bit of both stereo. Okay, over here that's going to be the pitch, so it's going to change how it's sounding, right? This is what we have over here, and you can experiment. What we have over here is the mute. So if I mute it, so you're gonna see it's still playing this because I'm tapping here on the pad. But if I go to my controller, so you're gonna see over here. So it's telling me that it's on G sharp, right? So I'm on G sharp over here. Let me see. This is G sharp that I have, right? And now I'm gonna mute it so it doesn't play anymore, right? So it does mute it. If we put it on over here, this is solo. So this is gonna be the only thing playing, but everything else that I'm playing over here on my keyboard is not playing. Only this is playing. Over here, the scale volume. So if it's turned on, it's gonna see how soft you're hitting the key on your controller. If you hitting it softly, the sound is gonna come out, very low. If you're hitting it loud, it's gonna be loud as well. But at the same time, if you turn it on, however you hit, even if it's soft, it's always gonna come 100% at that point. Okay, so those are the options that you have over here. This one we already saw it. It does provide you with um, the note where this part over here is mapped. Over here we saw the group where it's being cut, right? And over here we see the output. So with me having the channel racks over here, is if I find it really easy just to select where I want that channel to go to if I wanted to mix it. So let's say over here I select another pattern, and in this pattern over here I'm just gonna have a kick, snare, and maybe something like that, right? So you see over here, because the template that I selected already mapped this to the mixer. So we have our kick coming up here, we have our hi-hat coming up here, and we have our snare coming up in the fourth insert over here. To do it with the FPC is a little bit different. So first of all, what we need to do is select where we want the FPC to be inserted in the mixer. So we can come up here, we can just drag this option over here. I just came up here and I just drag up or drag down to select where it's gonna go. So let's say we put it over here to insert 8. The other option as well, you could do it by coming up here to the settings. You could do it from here. It's gonna select it. When we're gonna go back, it's gonna be at insert 10. Or one of the other one that I find that is pretty good, and that's why I love FL Studio. If we come up here and we press on that track, it's gonna look up in the mixer and see what is the next available track, and it's gonna put it there. So when I click here, because he put it on 5 over here, because we have over here 1 2 3 4 that were already selected, and the next one that was available was the fifth one. He did put it here. So now that we have it here, if we go back to our previous pattern, right, and that's why FS Studio, the flexibility is you have different patterns there you can have, and you just select the one that you wanna use at the time. So I'm selecting this pattern here, and what you're gonna find, everything is playing out of this one. So if we want to have, maybe you want to mix, maybe you want to put maybe some mixer or some delays on some of the instrument there, maybe it's on the hi-hat. The way you want to do it, you go over here and you're gonna select the pad, and you're gonna come up here to the output, and you're gonna say, okay, you know what, this is gonna go out to the very next insert after the one of the FPC over here. So I have assigned it to this one. And if we go over here, we select the kick drum. If I put it as well to number 1, so the kick and the snare is gonna all come out of the same one, but I want this to be different, so I'm gonna say, okay, you know what, you go to number 2. So when we're gonna come back here, what you're gonna find is, so we have the snare over here, and this is our kick, and basically everything else that I'm gonna play is, because I haven't assigned them, they're all coming out of the first one over here. Okay, so that is basically what we have over here. That would be most of the information that you would really need to use the FPC. Um, I did show you that you were able to add 2 samples on the same pad. You have the flexibility of saying, you know what, based on how hard I'm hitting a certain pad, I just want this sound to sound, or I want this sound to sound over here. So if I go here, you're gonna see that if I'm really soft, it's gonna be the first one. But if I'm hitting hard, it's gonna be the second one over here, right? The advantage with using the FSC, besides that you're able to play several sounds all at the same time, the other one is maybe you're experimenting with different sound in your collection. What some other producers are doing is they load the sound that they love or they like, they found, it kind of mesh. They're gonna load it all in one collection of pads. And what's gonna happen the next time that they're gonna start a song, instead of looking again for different samples that kind of fit the same timbre or the same sound, they can just come up, and they will have saved it, right? So you can come up here and you have over here different options to export a kit. So you can export a kit, you can export so you can export the WAV files, and basically it's gonna keep the mapping that you've done and also the different sound that's assigned to those pads all in one place. And basically when you call it, everything is already mapped out and you can go ahead and play it out. So those would be the two advantages compared to using the individual racks over here. And it's really up to you to see which one works the best for you, which one is better for your creativity. That's really the main goal, because one thing that maybe I have probably already mentioned it is, I tend to not, when I'm composing, I tend not to lose too much time in configuring things, because I can lose the train of thought that I had, and a lot of times when you lose it, to get it back is really difficult, right? So that's really my thing. When I have I want to make it really easy for me to find my workflow and to go ahead and lay out the idea. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But this is what I wanted to share for you with you today. Okay. Guys, if you enjoy the content, share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I also wanted to let you know about my free mastering mini course that's going to be available there in the description. You're also going to get with that free banger drums kit, right, with some crazy samples. Basically you're going to be able to make some crazy drum patterns. Okay, so the link is going to be in the description. It's going to let you know how you're going to have access to it, and I will talk to you in another video.